Hello and welcome to Bible Quizzes. There are 80 questions in this quiz. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. What did Michael tell the devil when he disputed with him about the body of Moses? The Lord rebuke you. Thunder strike you. He belongs to God. You shall burn in hell. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, the Lord rebuke you. Jude 1:9. But Michael the archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him a railing judgment, but said, the Lord rebuke you. 2. What has God done to the angels who left their abode, not keeping their domain? Sent them to earth, made them mortal, destroyed them in hell, reserved them in everlasting chains. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, reserve them in everlasting chains. Jude 1:6. And the angels who did not keep their proper domain, but left their own abode, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day. 3. How many saints did Enoch prophesy the Lord will come with? Thousands, 10,000s, millions, hundreds. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 10,000s. Jude 1:14. Now Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about this man also, saying, Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his saints. 4. To how many churches does John the Revelator write to? 4, 6, 12, 7. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 7. Revelation 1:4. John, to the seven churches which are in Asia, grace to you and peace from him who is and who was and who is to come, and from the seven spirits who are before his throne. 5. According to Revelation, who has the keys of death and Hades? Jesus, Lucifer, the Antichrist, Archangel Michael. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Jesus. Revelation 1:18. I am he, Jesus, who lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And I have the keys of Hades and of death. 6. What did John see in the midst of the seven lampstands? A golden cross, a lion, an angel, the Son of Man. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is the Son of Man. Revelation 1:13. And in the midst of the seven lampstands, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the feet and girded about the chest with a golden band. 7. Which among the seven churches was dead? Ephesus, Smyrna, Sardis, Philadelphia. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Sardis, Revelation 3:1. And to the angel of the church in Sardis write, This thing says he who has the seven spirits of God and the seven stars. I know your works, that you have a name, that you are alive, but you are dead. 8. How many thrones are around the throne in heaven? 24, 4, 12, 40. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 24. Revelation 4:4. Around the throne were 24 thrones, and on the thrones I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white robes, and they had crowns of gold on their heads. 9. What is the description of he who sat on the throne? Like a rainbow in the clouds, like the sun and the moon, like a jasper and a sardius stone, like the four living creatures. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is like a jasper and a sardius stone, Revelation 4:3. And he who sat there was like a jasper and a sardius stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne, in appearance like an emerald. 10. What is the description of the fourth living creature around the throne? Like a flying dragon, like a flying eagle, like a flying ox, like a flying lion. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is like a flying eagle, Revelation 4:7. The first living creature was like a lion, the second living creature like a calf, the third living creature had a face like a man, and the fourth living creature was like a flying eagle. 11. To who exactly were the letters to the seven churches addressed to? The congregation, the bishops only, the church eldership, the angels of the churches. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is the angels of the churches, Revelation 2:1. To the angel of the church of Ephesus, write, This thing says he who holds the seven stars in his right hand, who walks in the midst of the seven golden lampstands. 12. What destroyed the image in the first dream of Nebuchadnezzar? A mighty wind, a stone, a watcher, a flood. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a stone, Daniel 2:34. You watched while a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. 13. What did Peter quote from Paul in his second epistle? Paul's teachings on faith, Paul's personal experiences, Paul's wisdom, Paul's missionary journeys. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Paul's wisdom, 2 Peter 3:15, and consider that the long-suffering of our Lord is salvation, as also our beloved brother Paul, according to the wisdom given to him, has written to you. 14. What did the head of gold in Nebuchadnezzar's dream represent? Persian Empire, King Cyrus, Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 2:38. And wherever the children of man dwell, are the beasts of the field and the birds of the heaven, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold. 15. Where did Nebuchadnezzar set the image of gold that he made to be worshipped? In the plain of Dura, in Shiloh, in Shushan, in Nineveh. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is in the plain of Dura, Daniel 3:1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. 16. Who instructed the cutting of the huge tree in Nebuchadnezzar's second dream? A mighty angel, Gabriel, Daniel, a watcher, a holy one. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a watcher, a holy one. Daniel 4:13-14. I saw in the visions of my head while on my bed, and there was a watcher, a holy one, coming down from heaven. He cried aloud and said thus, Chop down the tree and cut off its branches, strip off its leaves and scatter its fruit. 17. What did God do when Jeremiah said he was a youth and not able to speak? Put his hand on Jeremiah's mouth. Put a coal on Jeremiah's mouth. Sent an angel to encourage him. He told Jeremiah to eat the scroll. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is put his hand on Jeremiah's mouth, Jeremiah 1:9. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and the Lord said to me, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth. 18. What did Jeremiah see in the potter's house? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a vessel marred and remade. Jeremiah 18:3-4. Then I went down to the potter's house, and there he was, making something at the wheel. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter, so he made it again into another vessel. 19. Why did God tell Jeremiah he was bringing calamity from the north? They worshipped the works of their hands. They burned incense to other gods, because they had forsaken God. All of the above. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is all of the above. Jeremiah 1:16. I will utter my judgments against them concerning all their wickedness, because they have forsaken me, burned incense to other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. 20. Where did God tell Jeremiah to hide the linen sash? In the temple, by river Euphrates, in the wilderness, in a cave. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is by river Euphrates, Jeremiah 13:6. Now it came to pass after many days that the Lord said to me, Arise, go to the Euphrates, and take from there the sash which I commanded you to hide there. 21. True or false? Thomas asked Jesus how a man can be born again yet he is old. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. John 3:4. Nicodemus said to him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? 22. What part of the body does Jeremiah tell the Israelites to circumcise? Their ears, their hearts, their loins, their minds. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is their hearts. Jeremiah 4:4. Circumcise yourselves to the Lord and take away the foreskins of your heart, you men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn so that no one can quench it. 23. What does tekel mean from the handwriting on the wall? You've been weighed and found wanting. You have been judged. Your days are numbered. You will die tonight. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, you've been weighed and found wanting. Daniel 5:27. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. 24. God told Jeremiah he would not relent even though blank and blank stood on behalf of the Israelites. Elijah and Elisha, Samuel and David, Moses and Samuel, Moses and Aaron. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Moses and Samuel, Jeremiah 15:1. Then the Lord said to me, Even if Moses and Samuel stood before me, my mind would not be favorable towards his people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. 25. Which destruction does Jeremiah say God will appoint? The sword to slay, birds and beasts, dogs to drag, all of the above. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is all of the above. Jeremiah 15:3. And I will appoint over them 4 forms of destruction, says the Lord: the sword to slay, the dogs to drag, the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. 26. What is a man who trusts in the Lord compared to in Jeremiah 17? A steadfast rock, a strong fortress, a tree planted by the waters, Mount Zion. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a tree planted by the waters. Jeremiah 17:7-8. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord and whose hope is the Lord. For he shall be like a tree planted by the waters, which spreads out its roots by the river and will not fear when heat comes, but its leaf will be green. 27. Who among these was not a daughter of Job? Jemima, Dinah, Keziah, Karen, Hapuk. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Dinah. Job 42:13. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. Job 42:14. And he called the name of the first Jemima, the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Karen Hapuk. 28. What is the name of the great goddess of the Ephesians according to Acts? Diana, Athena, Asherah, Baal. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Diana, Acts 19:27. So not only is this trade of ours in danger of falling into disrepute, but also the temple of the great goddess Diana may be despised and her magnificence destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worship. 29. In his vision, where was the man who called Paul to go help them? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Macedonia, Acts 16:9. And a vision appeared to Paul in the night. A man of Macedonia stood and pleaded with him, saying, "Come over to Macedonia and help us." 30. Where did Paul find Timothy? Antioch, Lystra, Iconium, Corinth. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Lystra, Acts 16:1. Then he came to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there named Timothy, the son of a certain Jewish woman who believed, but his father was Greek. 31. Who circumcised Timothy? Paul, Barnabas, Peter, Apollos. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Paul, Acts 16:3. Paul wanted to have him go on with him, and he took him and circumcised him because of the Jews who were in that region, for they all knew that his father was Greek. 32. What happened at midnight as Paul and Silas sang in prison? A great earthquake. Doors were opened. Chains fell off. All of the above. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is all of the above, Acts 16:25-26. But at midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns, and the prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, and immediately all the doors were opened and everyone's chains were loosed. 33. What did the keeper of the prison intend to do when he thought Paul and Silas had escaped? Run away, report them, kill himself, blame the guards. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is kill himself, Acts 16:27-28. And the keeper of the prison, awaking from sleep and seeing the prison doors open, supposing the prisoners had fled, drew his sword and was about to kill himself, but Paul called with a loud voice. 34. What did Paul and Silas do when the magistrates decided to release them from prison? Demanded a public release, fled to another city, prayed for the magistrates. They left the prison instantly. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is demanded a public release, Acts 16:37. But Paul said to them, "They have beaten us openly, uncondemned Romans, and have thrown us into prison. And now do they put us out secretly? No, indeed. Let them come themselves and get us out." 35. Why did the Jews stir up conspiracy against Paul while in Jason's house? They wanted his wealth. They were envious. They feared the Romans. They disliked Jason. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is they were envious. Acts 17:5. But the Jews who were not persuaded, becoming envious, took some of the evil men from the marketplace, and gathering a mob, set all the city in an uproar and attacked the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people. 36. Which girl followed Paul and his men, declaring publicly that they were men of God? The servant of the high priest, a girl possessed with a spirit of divination, Rhoda, the servant girl, Lydia, the seller of purple. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a girl possessed with a spirit of divination. Acts 16:16-17. A certain slave girl possessed with a spirit of divination met us, who brought her masters much profit by fortune telling. This girl followed Paul and us and cried out, saying, "These men are the servants of the Most High God." 37. According to John 1, what happened to darkness once light shone? It disappeared. It comprehended it not. It fought back. It became light. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, it comprehended it not. John 1:5. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. 38. According to John 1, whom did the Jews send to John to ask him if he was the Messiah? Pharisees, Sadducees, priests and Levites, lawyers. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is priests and Levites. John 1:19. Now this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" 39. What did Jesus respond to his mother when she asked him to make wine? "It is not my concern. I don't support drinking. My time has not yet come. I will do it." You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, my time has not yet come. John 2:3-4. And when they ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." 40. What was the Samaritan woman's perception of Jesus? The Messiah, a Pharisee, a teacher, a prophet. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a prophet. John 4:19. The woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet." 41. True or false? Jesus' disciples were present when he met with a Samaritan woman at the well. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is false. John 4:7-8. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink," for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. 42. What was the song that David composed to lament for Saul? Song of the King, Song of the Bow, Song of David, Song of Saul. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Song of the Bow, 2 Samuel 1:17-18. Then David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son, and he told them to teach the children of Judah the Song of the Bow. Indeed, it is written in the book of Jasher. 43. Where was Goliath from? Ziklag, Keilah, Gath, Jericho. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Gath. 1 Samuel 17:4, and a champion went out from the camp of the Philistines named Goliath from Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. 44. What material was Goliath's armor made of? Iron, bronze, gold, wood. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is bronze. 1 Samuel 17:5. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail. And the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of bronze, and he had bronze armor on his legs and a bronze javelin between his shoulders. 45. What was the relationship between Naomi and Elimelech? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is spouses. Ruth 1:2. The name of the man was Elimelech, the name of his wife was Naomi, and the names of his two sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to the country of Moab and remained there. 46. What did the Philistines do when they saw Goliath was dead? Fled, surrendered, charged at David, called for help. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is fled. 1 Samuel 17:51. Therefore David ran and stood over the Philistine, took his sword and drew it out of its sheath and killed him, and cut off his head with it. And when the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled. 47. What was David's hometown? Bethany, Bethlehem, Nazareth, Zion. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Bethlehem. 1 Samuel 20:6. If your father misses me at all, then say, David earnestly asked permission of me that he might run over to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. 48. What did Saul do whenever the distressing spirit from God came upon him? He listened to David playing music. He acted like a madman. He consulted a prophet. He consulted the medium. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is he listened to David playing music. 1 Samuel 18:10. And it happened on the next day that the distressing spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied inside the house. So David played music with his hand as at other times, but there was a spear in Saul's hand. 49. What was the name of Saul's eldest daughter that was promised to David for a wife? Abishag, Tamar, Merab, Abital. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Merab. 1 Samuel 18:19. But it happened at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given to Adriel the Meholatite as a wife. 50. True or false? The Philistines removed Samson's eyes. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is true. Judges 16:21. Then the Philistines took him and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with the bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. 51. What was Saul's intention when he sent David to get 100 foreskins of the Philistines? To honor David, to have David killed, to test David's loyalty, to embarrass David. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is to have David killed. 1 Samuel 18:25. Then Saul said, Thus you shall say to David, The king does not desire any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines, to take vengeance on the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the Philistines. 52. What was the condition of the 400 men who went to David in the cave of Adullam? They were distressed, they were discontented, they were in debt. All of the above. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is all of the above. 1 Samuel 22:2. And everyone who was in distress, everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him. So he became captain over them, and there were about 400 men with him. 53. What did the servants of Saul do when he commanded them to kill the priests? They refused to lift their hands. They obeyed immediately. They negotiated with Saul. They ran away. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, they refused to lift their hands. 1 Samuel 22:17. Then the king said to the guards, "Turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and they knew when he fled." But the servants of the king would not lift their hands to strike the priests of the Lord. 54. Why did Saul order the priests to be killed? You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, they helped David. 1 Samuel 22:17. Then the king said to the guards who stood about him, "Turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not tell it to me." 55. How many priests were killed under Saul's command? 55, 85, 75, 95. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 85. 1 Samuel 22:18. And the king said to Doeg, "You turn and kill the priests." So Doeg the Edomite turned and struck the priests and killed on that day 85 men who wore a linen ephod. 56. Who was Moses' father-in-law? Korah, Hobab, Jethro, Abiram. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Jethro, Exodus 3:1. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. 57. What appeared to Moses in the midst of the burning bush? The finger of God, an angel of the Lord, the tablets of the commandments, a bright burning flame. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is an angel of the Lord, Exodus 3:2. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. 58. Why did God command Moses to remove his sandals as he approached the burning bush? The place was holy ground. To feel the warmth of the fire, to show respect, to avoid making noise. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, the place was holy ground, Exodus 3:5. Then he said, "Do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground." 59. Why did Moses hide his face when God introduced himself to him? He was blinded by the light. He was ashamed. He was afraid to look upon God. He was confused. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, he was afraid to look upon God, Exodus 3:6. Moreover, he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. 60. For how long did Ezra read the law to the gathered Israelites? From sunrise to sunset, from morning to midday, the whole night, for 2 hours. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is from morning to midday, Nehemiah 8:3. He read from it in the open square that was in front of the water gate from morning until midday, before the men and women and those who could understand, and the ears of all the people were attentive to the book of the law. 61. Who helped Moses to number the Israelites? Joshua, Caleb, Hur, Aaron. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Aaron. Numbers 1:3. From 20 years old and above, all who are able to go to war in Israel, you and Aaron shall number them by their armies. 62. According to the camping of the Israelites, which standard camped on the south? Judah, Simeon, Reuben, Gad. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Reuben. Numbers 2:10. On the south side shall be the standard of the forces with Reuben according to their armies, and the leader of the children of Reuben shall be Elizur the son of Shedeur. 63. Which Levite group was in charge of the ark? Gershonites, Merarites, Kohathites, Aaronites. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Kohathites, Numbers 3:30-31. And the leader of the father's house of the families of the Kohathites was Elizaphan the son of Uzziel. Their duty included the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the utensils of the sanctuary with which they ministered. 64. Whom did Moses send out to fight the Amalekites in the wilderness journey? Joshua, Hur, Aaron, Caleb. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Joshua, Exodus 17:9-10. And Moses said to Joshua, Choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses said to him and fought with Amalek. 65. What does the second commandment say? You shall not make a carved image. You shall not steal. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not bear false witness. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, you shall not make a carved image. Exodus 20:4. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. 66. Up to what generation does God visit the iniquity of the fathers on the children? First generation, third and fourth generations, second generation, 1,000 generations. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is third and fourth generations. Exodus 25. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. 67. Where did Elkanah go to worship yearly? Bethel, Ramah, Zion, Shiloh. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Shiloh, 1 Samuel 1:3. This man went up from his city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. Also, the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. 68. Why was Hannah childless? The Lord had closed her womb. She was cursed by her rival. Her bitterness made her childless. She was too old. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, the Lord had closed her womb. 1 Samuel 1:5-6. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely, to make her miserable because the Lord had closed her womb. 69. Why didn't the sons of Eli hear him and repent from their wickedness? They didn't understand. They didn't believe in God. The Lord desired to kill them. They were too proud. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, the Lord desired to kill them. 1 Samuel 2:25. If one man sins against another, God will judge him. But if a man sins against the Lord, who will intercede for him? Nevertheless, they did not heed the voice of their father, because the Lord desired to kill them. 70. Which among these is not a book of the Old Testament? Isaiah, Joel, Jude, Psalms. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Jude. Jude is a book in the New Testament before the book of Revelation. 71. Who was Saul's father? Ner, Kish, Abiel, Malchishua. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Kish. 1 Samuel 9:3. Now the donkeys of Kish, Saul's father, were lost, and Kish said to his son Saul, "Please take one of the servants with you, and arise, go and look for the donkeys." 72. The kingdom of Israel was divided under the rule of which king? Saul, David, Solomon, Rehoboam. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Rehoboam. The kingdom of Israel divided under Rehoboam, Solomon's son. This is recorded in 1 Kings 12:1-24. 73. The angel announced to Mary that Elizabeth's pregnancy was how far along? 3 months, 9 months, 6 months, 1 month. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is 6 months. Luke 1:36. Now indeed, Elizabeth, your relative, has also conceived a son in her old age, and this is now the 6th month of her who was called barren. 74. The book of Ruth was written in the period when who ruled? Ahab, Zedekiah, Saul, Judges. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Judges. Ruth 1:1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to dwell in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. 75. Who oppressed the Israelites in the time of Gideon? Philistines, Moabites, Midianites, Canaanites. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Midianites. Judges 6:13. Gideon said to him, "O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites." 76. Where did Gideon get the fire for his first burnt offerings? An angel made fire from the rock, from a lightning strike, from a passing cloud, from his campfire. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is, an angel made fire from the rock. Judges 6:21. Then the angel of the Lord put out the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and fire rose out of the rock and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread. 77. Why was Gideon named Jerubbaal? He tore down Baal's altar. He sacrificed to Baal. He made peace with the Canaanites. He built an altar to Baal. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is he tore down Baal's altar. Judges 6:32. Therefore on that day he called him Jerubbaal, saying, "Let Baal plead against him because he has torn down his altar." 78. What test did Gideon give God to confirm his intentions to use him to save Israel? A fleece of wool with dew, a pillar of cloud, parting the waters of a river, a burning bush. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is a fleece of wool with dew. Judges 6:37. Look, I shall put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, and it is dry on all the ground, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. 79. Why did the men of Ephraim come to fight Jephthah? They wanted a share of the spoils. They were not called to battle. They were jealous of his victory. They believed he had betrayed them. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is they were not called to battle. Judges 12:1. Then the men of Ephraim gathered together, crossed over toward Zaphon, and said to Jephthah, "Why did you fight against the people of Ammon and did not call us to go with you? We will burn your house down on you with fire." And 80. Which among their gods did the Philistines claim saved them from Samson? Baal, Dagon, Ashtoreth, Molech. You have 10 seconds to answer. The answer is Dagon. Judges 16:23. Now the lords of the Philistines gathered together to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon their god and to rejoice. And they said, "Our God has delivered into our hands Samson our enemy." Well, that's all the questions we have for you today. How well did you do? Tally your score and post in the comments. Share this quiz with your family and friends. See you in the next one. God bless.